All right, friends. I hope to basically go through this really quickly in the next 20, 30 minutes. And at the very end, I want to basically give you a Google Doc that has some prompts, some like a little checklist for your LinkedIn profile, just some things you guys could use so we can basically start enhancing these things and get in front of leads, opportunities, possibilities, all that good stuff. So first and foremost, we got to talk about, you know, what is LinkedIn, and what I've come to realize in the last like 2 years of really using it is just that it's just a place to connect. It's really no different than most other platforms. However, what I've realized is like most other platforms, um, they've become so diluted with different types of markets, right? So if I'm on Instagram buying a $20 t-shirt, if I'm on LinkedIn, there's a high ticket business opportunity. If I'm on Facebook, it's friends, family, high school buddies. Like each one of these things, oh, my man Timmy, what's going on? Yeah, I'm gonna add you in here, man. So what's up, Timmy? How you doing? Oh wait, you're on. Let me unmute you real quick. Go ahead, unmute.
I'm doing great. How about you?
Good, good. I'm just talking a little bit about LinkedIn, talking a little bit about yeah, how we can utilize it to just better get in front of opportunities. And so I've shared a lot of these components on LinkedIn. I've shared them on, on our private community and rising authors. I just try to get authors specifically to be more seen. I think that's the key to marketing. Not only be seen, of course, but clearly communicate what you do, how you do it, why you do it, all that good stuff. Share your wisdom. But it's really a place to connect. That was the most important thing that I learned was that I am just here not to just post, not to just like and comment, but I'm here to look for people that are like-minded, that I can connect with, that if I share something, they might be interested in it. And more so, am I interested in them? What are they doing? What are they building? What are they writing? Am I being genuine and commenting and authentically showing up? Because if we keep thinking that LinkedIn is just a place where I have to do this dreaded thing of putting myself out there, then it's probably not going to serve you in the ways that you're hoping it would. So that's kind of the what is LinkedIn. And once I realized that, then I tried to understand what stopped me from posting consistently, what stopped me from growing an audience and all those kinds of things. And I realized that it was like fears. Fears are big because fears either work for us or work against us. And we have to understand what the purpose of those fears are and where they're coming from and how to address them. Now, before we go optimize the profile, before we learn how to post stuff, before we really can do anything and utilize the tool for what it is, we have to understand it. And when we understand it, that may basically start to break down those fears and not give them too much of a voice. So how do we do that? In the comments, whoever is in here, I would love to know um, what are some of the fears that come up for you, or maybe some of the authors you work with, or experts you work with. What are the fears of basically posting to LinkedIn or feeling like you have to be on LinkedIn or anything like that? I have a few that always come up for me, but I'll wait in the comments real quick to see what comes up for some of you guys. All right, let's see. Fears for me. I'm not saying anything new or valuable. That's such a good one. Thank you, Kelly. Timmy said, crickets, nothing valuable to say, not knowing how to say things. Incredible. I experienced LinkedIn as too buttoned up, and I'm not buttoned up enough. Okay, yeah, not feeling like adequate for the space. Oh man, are we gonna have a good discussion? Okay, so all of these fears are like deep. Who is it that I don't have enough to offer? Oh my God, these are so good. These are so incredible. The reason why these sort of exercises help us not only look at our fear for what it is, but to really see if it is justified, right? So like, what is LinkedIn to begin with? It's a place to LinkedIn, to connect. And if I'm just sharing, if I meet someone at an event, at a party, at a conference, at a summit, I wouldn't necessarily have a lot of these fears because it's just one-on-one. Even one to a few people, like that's not too bad. But when we feel like we're putting ourselves out into the public, then what's really at stake, down below all these fears, is our reputation, right? Like if I don't have enough to offer, then I'm going to be looked at as that person who doesn't have much to offer and be ignored, right? If I think I'm going to show up to a button-up party and I come wearing a t-shirt, you're not going to fit in, right? So it's all of these are connected to this idea that we may not be adequate, but really the party is not adequate. The space within itself is trying to figure itself out. And the funny thing is, the more raw we show up, the more vulnerable and honest we are, the more, for some reason, this party called LinkedIn, right? People gravitate towards those types of posts, towards those types of people, towards those types of comments that we can all relate to. So when those voices in our head are thinking that other people will judge us, those voices are similar in other people's heads, right? I'm not a psychologist here, so I'm going to break it down simply in how I was able to overcome this. Once I realized that most people have pretty much the same fears I have, and I realized that I don't have time to sit here and judge others negatively. And if I do, that's on me, right? More than anything. It's really not on them. But putting that person, when they put themselves out there to talk about what they're doing, their book, their whatever, I try to say, what's the best thing I can do for this person? Should probably celebrate them or relate to this or share something that is unique to me in that story, right? I reflect on my experience. And same thing for that other person. They can either celebrate my post, they can relate to that post, they can share it with someone else that it would relate to, or it would resonate, or completely ignore it, right? Just it flies by because we're all scrolling. But what I found is that those fears are holding us back from so many different types of opportunities. Like, you guys, I've built, and some of you guys know here, right? Like, I've built a community, not with just me, right? With a ton of people. Kelly here, Chris is here, right? Like, with a ton of people that get the value out of coming together, collaborating, working together, handing off opportunities, handing off connections, working together. That's really what this space is about. Ultimately, it's connections. So that the deeper the connections are, the more trust I have. And the more trust I have, the more I can bring that to how I show myself into the world, what I'm building in public, right? So the more I've leaned into like just sharing the ups and downs, the vulnerability, sharing repetitive stuff. I think it was Kelly that said that, I have nothing new to say. That's fine, because I promise you 90% of you right now don't remember what I posted about 2 weeks ago, let alone a week ago, maybe even this morning, right? Your posts are one of hundreds, if not thousands, that every person sees today. So the key then is, how do you stand out? What's attention and all that good stuff, which we'll get into in a little bit later. So the fear is that we don't have enough to offer. But what I say is that we don't need more content. We just need better content. So if someone were to talk about a financial aspect in accordance to a solopreneur, a speaker, or whatever, that information might be valuable for my community. I just think about who's in my community, what's valuable to them. And if I said it this way 3 weeks ago and it got some likes, it got some comments, it got some engagement, then I might be able to say it in a different way today and just what's called repurpose the content, right? Bring it up, because one, I might have added some new people to my growing audience that don't know this information, because no one goes back into your post 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month to see what you've posted, unless they're really researching you and who you are, right? And with that, sometimes we don't like to just learn stuff. We also like to be reminded. The reminder is what we're going for here. Literally, I wrote on my hand, I'm Muslim, so I don't get tattoos personally. I just, tattoos are not a thing in my culture. So out of respect for my pops and them, I don't get that. But I write on my arm all the time, and I write, do it now. Like, there's quick emails, there's quick little things sometimes that kind of creep in and they add up a lot. And then the trick to those things is just get them done, get them out of the way, so that they're not using up brain power, right? So same thing with all this LinkedIn stuff. We overthink. So Seneca has this amazing quote, which I love. And it goes, we suffer more in our imagination than we do on our reality, which is so true. How many of you have gathered all the materials you wanted for your post, went and said, okay, I'm going to do this Canva thing, I'm going to write this thing, and oh, I think hooks have to be good, so I'm going to do that thing, and then you've 2 hours in and you haven't even posted the post yet, and then you're once you're ready to do it, it's like too late, or you're like, oh, this isn't good enough, and you overjudge it, and then you don't even post, and now you're frustrated and you don't post for another month or 3 weeks or whatever it is. And there goes a huge time gap opportunity, where I say, you have to just not overthink it. Don't think about it. Don't think about the post. Don't think about who it's for. Just do it for fun. If anything, this is a great way to just connect with people all over the planet. Think about when people used to write letters that would get from Arizona to California in like weeks. It would take weeks. And now in a millisecond, I have access to someone in Japan, which is amazing. So we have to start thinking optimistically about what this platform can do for us and how we can overcome those fears that aren't necessarily true. They're true to a degree, but it's how much fuel you give them. So one way I fight the it's not new, I'm not good enough, whatever. You guys, I started author marketing just a couple years ago, but I understand marketing. And marketing at its core is clear communication consistently over time, so that just do it, those 3 words are 100% attached to Nike, because they've been saying it since the beginning of time, right? Or at least since the mid-90s when they adopted it. Okay, so like thinking about what is being said about you. So, Brene Brown, vulnerability, Simon Sinek, the why guy, like Seth Godin is the marketing guru, right? The type of marketing that comes to you, the type of marketing that you attract. So with that, we need to be our own media companies today. And that's really what social media is. It's your own media company. And when you see people with tons of people following them, all those kinds of things, there's a lot of ways to get there. Some are paid to get there. Some of them have been organic getting there. Some of them, it took 10 years and then overnight it became a success because you finally heard of them. I'll give you one more example. Dr. Andrew Huberman just launched his book 2 days ago or something like that, or he launched a pre-sale. If you go look at his website, if you go look at his landing page, if you go look at all these things, that's at least 7 years in the making. It didn't happen overnight. His whole brand, 5 years ago, when he started writing his book, no one knew Andrew Huberman, right? So that's the thing. It's that your brand happens over time, but he's been consistent, right? By putting his knowledge out there. And look, most of the knowledge he shares is stuff that's out there. It's researched. And he brings it to the table with, of course, maybe some cutting edge new stuff that we're learning. Maybe some new cutting edge information that he's sharing. And what he's doing in his unique lens is bringing that information to a way that his audience that likes that type of information likes to digest it. So in the form of a podcast, in the form of working with athletes in his lab, where he tests people and shares the results on a podcast. So like that's embodying the message, which is 100% the best way to market yourself and your book, is to embody your message. So when you go somewhere, what are people saying about you? Like, I want people to say Hussein is one of the best author marketing people in the world. Well, that's going to take me maybe another 10, 15, maybe 100 years before that even happens, right? But along the journey, I'm going to stack the things that matter to creating a reputation online and creating a name for myself by putting out small, digestive, like pieces of content that are bite-sized, that are like really easy to consume, really easy to apply, to make the best out of that content, to make the best out of the space. The reminders, back to what you were saying here, Kelly, the reminders are like the best thing we can do for our audience, for the people that we work with, right? Like I need constant reminders every single day about all kinds of things. So that is my sort of spiel around fears. Again, fears are weird. We all have them. They're all honestly not that very different, but it's just the trauma that's connected to those fears makes the severity of that fear. So I had to learn English. I had to put myself out there. I sounded stupid for a very long time, and I got used to being made fun of. I got used to all those things. So putting myself out there today is not as difficult to someone who maybe didn't face a lot of those things, right? And has to come at it from a different angle. And so I say, like, you honestly don't have anything to lose. You have a lot more to gain than what you do potentially lose. And if you're a good person, you really want to help other people, you want to connect with them, you want to offer your services and value to them. It's like walking by, a person who is making the most beautiful pair of shoes. Just watching them make it, at the end, you want to work with them. Maybe they can make you a pair of shoes, but like if you walk back and forth for 3 days, 4 days a week, and they're still crafting that one piece of shoe, that's really interesting. And so think of your landing page, your home page, your LinkedIn profile as anytime your name comes up or your post comes up, or I get to see, like, you're still sort of crafting this thing, and I can see it from a distance. I can see you building. And that gets me curious. That gets me interested. That makes you an expert because you are so in tune with what you're doing. And that makes me want to work with you, hire you, all of those benefits that come from creating opportunities. So not just, I love doing that on YouTube as well. I get clientele from YouTube. I get clientele from LinkedIn. I don't do that on Facebook or Instagram or any, like, I have, but I chose one specific one, which is LinkedIn. And that helps me create my content from getting feedback. So if I post something that gets me, tons of engagement, likes, and comments, like, oh, this is a good topic, I'm going to go make a video about it because I like making videos, right? Or I'm going to go meet someone that can tell us more about this, and so on. Okay. So that is the part about fears. Fears are, if we can't get past our fears, it doesn't matter to optimize your profile. It doesn't matter how, if you don't know or know how to post. Fears are going to stop us, and therefore we need to understand that, like, they're not there to stop us. They're actually there, and this is what my whole new book is about. They're actually there to guide us to where we should be going. So instead of spending an hour, spend 5 minutes on a post and post it. It doesn't have to be gold every time. It's practice, right? Okay, so next phase of everything we're working on today. Let's talk about optimizing your profiles. Does anyone want to volunteer? Does anyone want to share and say, hey, check out my profile. Let me know what I can do to improve it or just enhance it a little bit, or something to think about? I'm happy to go into that if someone wants to. Have you messed around with TikTok at all? I've been seeing some people doing that. Curious about how effective it is. Oh my God, every platform is effective. LinkedIn is effective, Instagram, TikTok, yes. And the amount of virality that can come out of TikTok is huge. But my thing is, it's just like everything else. Are you showing up? Are you learning the platform? Are you actually posting and testing and trying things? Look, we're in the attention economy. It's just like, where is your audience? What audience's attention, right? So if I'm trying to sell my book on TikTok, and get as many books sold and stuff, yeah, that's a possibility. People do it all the time. So, Chaz, I forgot Chaz's tribute. Perfect. We're gonna chop up Chaz's real quick. But yeah, like it's really what I'm about to share, what I'm sharing, even around fears, like they apply to TikTok. They apply to really every platform. Social media is all the same. It's just, who are you trying to connect with? So I do high ticket, working with authors, working with clients is very high ticket. And I tend to find them on LinkedIn. And that's where I enjoy my time. I'm not a big fan of TikTok because it's, honestly, you can scroll like into infinity, I feel like. And it's, I'm sure mine could use a lot of improvement. Yeah, it's a work in progress. All of ours are work in progress for sure. Happy to volunteer. Perfect. Okay, so let's go. I'm going to share my screen. Let's see here. And I'm going to go to LinkedIn. I hope this doesn't cause a weird thing, but we'll see. Hold on one second. All right. So here's my LinkedIn profile. Okay, we go here. Let's go Chaz. My man Chaz. Okay. So right when I land here, there's a couple of things happening. So this is basically our gate to our website, more or less. This is the doorway, right? So in a way, it's a landing page. It's a little bit about you. It's that sort of outside the restaurant experience that you're going to impact people with. So please, can y'all still hear me and all that stuff? Everything good? You see my screen? Okay, looks like you can. Doing that instead of me. Oh, Chaz, you're about to get it, bro. I don't care. I'm just kidding. Okay, so off the bat, right away, I would say, like, again, this is just off my experience in the last couple of years of doing this kind of stuff with authors, is this banner is an opportunity to share a little bit about you, who you are, what you do. And I'll talk about that in a minute by sharing someone else's. Chaz, perfect. Choppy, it's good. So Wall Street Journal best-selling ghostwriter, book coach, and editor. I help you become the hero your audience deserves. That's awesome. However, it's just a little vague. So maybe instead of putting your credentials up front, we put them to back up this claim, right? So I would put it behind this claim right here, right? Which is, you are a best-selling ghostwriter, you are a book coach. Like, these are good things. But say, I help you become the hero your audience deserves. So I help you write the book, right, of your hero journey that your audience deserves, or something like that. Just a little bit more specific, because you're helping people ghostwrite. And then you say, I'm a Wall Street Journal best-selling ghostwriter and a book coach, and I can help you do that. So I would always start with who you're helping. I help business authors. I help experts. I help specific X. And it doesn't have to be I help or helping or optimizing or whatever. But when you say that, now I understand specifically what it is you do and then how you do it. Okay. So scroll down a little bit. Self-employed. This could be updated. Like you can add, like you can start a company page. That's really simple to do. And then instead of self-employed, you put your what is it? Mask and account. What is your thing, Chaz? I forget. Chaz had me with Godzilla, I'm sure. Yeah. Okay. So we can change this, because this will make you look a little bit more professional, a little bit more legit. I'll definitely update the, I know you're working on photos right now. Definitely update the main photo. You want a good, clean, professional, nice background, clear background usually, or a background that, attracts color, because I'll show you why that's important. or has some sort of color. Okay, so about anyone can write a book. Not really. All you have to do is practice 2 things. Okay, so this is cool, but right away, like the first 2-3 sentences should be capturing the pain of whoever's visiting this page. So when I hear about, it's not about you or what you can do, it's about me and what my problems are, as it always is. So if I said, you're probably stuck, you've been stuck trying to write your book for the past 3 years. I don't know what other pain points that I'm sure your people come to you for, or you're stranded, not sure how to edit your thing, or you've always needed a ghostwriter. You've always knew you needed a ghostwriter, but don't know where to start. Something like that. Like just propose those 3 pain points and then say, don't worry, many people are so busy, but they also want to write a book, and that's where I come in, right? And then you go into like all the different things that you do and how you do it, and this is great. Like kind of you're sharing about like sort of how you work with. So I've ghostwritten 40. This is great, but there's a few things we could do here, right? So if you go just real quickly, so I can show you what I'm talking about here in my about page. And all of you can literally go and copy and paste this and kind of inject your own wording about what you do and how you do it. I paid like a couple $1,000 to get LinkedIn training a couple months ago, and this was this was the page that I basically also copied and cleaned up to make it my own. So it's a very strong way to get people to kind of lead into what you do and get to the point, right? So pain points, you're not alone, happy to work with you. Here's what I offer. And then it goes into all the different sort of details, why choose me. And it's just really clear. And then you get people to shoot you a direct message right then and there in LinkedIn, right? Don't email me, don't go to my website, don't whatever. If you want to, that's fine. Okay, the other thing is, of course, your visit website and book a call button. So if you're trying to get people to book a call with you, say that. If you're trying to get people to visit your website, say that, right? But also make sure those things, those elements work for you. Your banner, like take your quote, take your one-liner that you always say, love your book and love the book and the outcome, or whatever it is, say it like loud and proud right here, right? My whole thing is turn your expertise into opportunities. I say that everywhere. So maybe have a little quote from somebody you've worked with, or like logos of organizations you've worked with, or whatever. Some sort of graphic that represents, your work. Maybe a book. Maybe it's a laptop. Maybe it's a thing, but not overcrowded. If this banner space here is just way overcrowded, there's another good one, my friend Michael. Right? If it's overcrowded, it's too much, then it kind of dilutes the whole thing, right? Transform and accelerate your growth with a proven methodology. Beautiful, right? Little logo, back end, looks great. He has his one-liner, he has his about page, all that good stuff is dialed. So that's a really important component, because this is, look, even this, right? Process material, like it's the little details that people are going to look for. If you are a premium someone that needs to help them, especially with a high ticket, then all these things need to help you, not take away your strength. Okay. So that's like optimizing your profile. That's really simple. And then the last thing is your feature section. So talk about that real quick. So my feature section needs a little bit of an update, but what I did here is just create 3 little cards, actually like 4 or 5 of these things, right? And they're all kind of call to actions. So instead of just so if you have a really big article that a lot of people come to, or something like that, or a big post that has reached thousands of people or something, then definitely put that as number 1, so for people to kind of get free content. And then your second thing should be your call to action, either booking a call with you, going to your website, checking out your testimonials, whatever it is. For me, it's like subscribe, sign up, read, join. It's like a variety of call to actions. But really, you could just be one thing. It doesn't have to be a variety, right? Because I have the community and all that good stuff. So that's really easy to set up. I mean, you literally click this thing, you go in here and you edit, you add a picture, and you add sort of the link of where it goes, and you can build those pictures on Canva pretty easily. Okay, so that's your profile. Now that we have a profile set up, we need to figure out how to post, what to post, when to post, why to post, all that good stuff. You guys still with me? Cape and cowl, that's right. Mask and cowl. That's what it said. Okay, it's got the logo, sweet. Yep. Kelly taking notes. This is, by the way, is of course recorded, and I will share this later on too in our community. So, okay, let's dive into sort of like how to post, when to post, what to post, all that good stuff. Okay, so I'm going to stop screen and share another screen. Okay, so I built this out for everyone here to have access to later for free. You can literally go and download it. You can even download it now if you want. It's basically if you go to rising-authors.com and then you click this access the Google Doc. I built this for you guys. You can just click it, make a copy, and then you'll be able to access exactly what I'm showing you. So there's a whole there's a whole thing behind social optimization, which is basically understanding what LinkedIn considers success. I'm not going to read through all of this, but I wrote it here for you guys, and this is from LinkedIn, right? So LinkedIn determines knowledge and advice like this. The posts speak to a specific audience. LinkedIn wants to know who will find your posts relevant. They consider the target audience of each post, whether it's a small group of close connections or a specific community. So when creating content, think about what kind of knowledge you have to offer and who will benefit from it. You guys, just reading this is going to help you guys a lot. This is when I read this, I was like, oh my God, I get it. I get it, right? Not every piece of content should be relevant to everyone on the platform. So instead of aiming at mass popularity, focus on connecting with your target audience and providing value in niche. I'm sure all of you have heard that at some point, but LinkedIn literally makes that part of the algorithm. Its aim is to facilitate meaningful connections. Remember, we talked about connections and knowledge sharing within relevant communities, making the platform a valuable resource for professionals, which is pretty much everyone here. Okay, I also created a little optimization checklist. So update your profile, your banner, captivating headline, your about, your featured, refine your work experiences. So if you need to update that stuff, do it. Update it. Take an hour, update all this stuff. I promise you, just have fun with it, sit with it, don't overthink it, keep it simple. There are hundreds. Just go look at your favorite creators. You know, they have all their banners, all their stuff look good, so you can kind of get some inspiration. Okay, nothing's new under the sun. You can copy and paste and clean up and update to make it your own. Okay, here's the post anatomy that I've learned, and it's pretty straightforward. Most of you here are writers. Most of you here are authors. You know how to write, you know what to write, you know all this good stuff. However, short form content as opposed to long form content, things are a little bit different. So we got to think about who we're serving, right? So if we're talking to people that are sort of busy, they have a lot going on, they might be on LinkedIn a couple times a day, scroll through it, see what's going on. And if something catches their attention, cool, they'll like it, they'll comment, whatever. But be considerate, right? Just because somebody doesn't like your post, it doesn't mean you're hated. Just because somebody doesn't comment on your post doesn't mean that it's not good. All that it means is that people are busy, and some of it will resonate and some of it won't. This is not a personal attack on who you are, your character, your knowledge, your expertise, your authorship. All it is that people don't know you. People haven't associated, especially if you're new, they haven't started to associate that knowledge with who you are. Look, I used to own an apparel printing company that had nothing. I wasn't even on LinkedIn. It was always on Instagram, right? So when I came to LinkedIn, I started a whole new career, which was being an author, speaking, all these kinds of things, and now helping in the marketing world. And so people haven't yet associated my knowledge base and my expertise and my entrepreneurship and my speaking, all these things with this thing that I'm doing. And they started to have that correlation over time. And it takes time to say that by constantly putting your knowledge out there. So the post anatomy is very simple. We need a hook. We need to capture attention, and we need to deliver on that hook. So the purpose is the first few sentences of your post designed to grab the reader's attention and encourage them to read more. Okay, I mean, honestly, I think everyone here knows that. But then how do you create those hooks, right? So then the techniques of how to do it: ask provocative questions, state a surprising fact, share a relatable quote, try different things, right? And you could be polarizing. Sometimes I'm like, I don't like traditional publishing, and then I go into a rant, or like, here's how Brene Brown did all these things and all these incredible. This is why it's important to build an online presence, right? I'm always just sharing something that people can relate to, that I can grab attention by putting a picture of Brene Brown on my post. I'll show you guys. Well, maybe a lot of people who are looking at my posts don't know me, right? So even seeing my face doesn't matter to them, right? But if I use Brene Brown, for example, or your boy Andrew Huberman, or whoever, right? When I use these other, I don't know if I can go fast enough here to go back far enough. When I use other people that are known to their communities, that are known in the authoring world, where'd it go? Man, there it is. Here we go. Right? This did really well. It got a lot of likes, got some comments. People can relate, but people know who she is. So the next thing I do is like write about Ryan Holiday. Again, I'm just sharing about my world, being an author, what it's like, what I've learned. I'm not doing anything brand new or groundbreaking, right? Okay, struggling with productivity, you're not alone. Today I'll share a tip that transformed my routine. So sharing from like your personal experience is huge. Like Kelly, Chris, Chaz, everyone in this room, you all have had tons of experience, right? Just share about those experiences. What have you learned? What's worked? What didn't work? The good, the bad, the ugly. And at least now you're consistently posting things that will not only show up, but show you as a real human being, someone that I could potentially trust and work with. Okay, delivering your message, right? I'm not going to go too deep into this stuff. It's all here for you, so you can check it out and read it. And then, again, the examples, the suggestions, the purpose, the call to actions. You'll get better at this like I have over time. The only way you'll get better at posting is by posting, period. There's no way around it, I promise. Maybe there is actually, and this is why I set this up for you. So I've collected tons of templates over time, over the last year, things that work for me. Like they're basically structured posts that you can literally copy, take to ChatGPT, or with your magic words, redevelop, reconstruct into your knowledge, your expertise, your stuff that you want to share, and then go on LinkedIn, schedule it, and post it and get it out there. Here's the best part. If you scroll all the way down, I gave you like a July contest, right? Basically, create every post for 5 days a week, right? So use a piece of content, rewrite it, put an image to it, and go to Tuesday, and then go to Wednesday, and then go to Thursday, and then, all that stuff. Just write the content out. Don't overthink it. So think about it. Crunch the time. In an hour, can you write 20 posts? Yes, you can, because I just gave you tons of examples to pull from. Literally, there's like over 50 examples in here. So you can take this, like you see, topic, big picture. It's all fillable. You can put it in there, and then you can use it to post to LinkedIn by just going to, I don't know if you guys don't do this very often. I'm very accustomed to this. So if you post the day of, in the hour of, so instead of scheduling, you can do this. You can just post today. So you go to your thing that you just filled out, and then you go to LinkedIn. You take that, you schedule it. Does anybody here not know how to schedule stuff on LinkedIn? Oh shit! You're showing your Google Doc, not your feed. Yeah, sorry. Let me switch it around. Thank you for that, Chris. Oh. Look, I'm learning StreamYard, so thank y'all for being so patient with me. This is the other thing. This is really what I wanted to do here, was that learning something, sometimes you can look foolish. And for me, I'm okay with looking foolish because I'm learning. And with you guys helping me here and teaching me here and reinforcing what I'm trying to do here, I appreciate you. So it's okay to look foolish. And here's the coolest part. If you write a bad post, no one really sees it. No one really comments. It doesn't spread. So it's okay. That's kind of the other thing that helped me get over my fear was like, oh, I guess if it's bad, no one cares anyways. And if it's good, it'll get seen. So it's kind of a win-win. Anyways, all right. So let me go show you guys how I post. So I literally come in here. All right, I copy my post, right? I paste it in here. Oh, here, let me show you guys something. Oop. So I'm just gonna post this real quick, right? So here's my topic, and then I would basically come down and I would space them out. This is something that a lot of people do and use, and so you might already know how to do this, right? Is you wanna break down your post so that it reads as I scroll, because I'm in the motion of scrolling, right? And if your feed does that, and it'll give you like a little thing here that says see more or read more or whatever. When you click that, that activates the algorithm that says, oh, this person thinks this post is important. And if 3 or 4 or 10 people do that within the first hour, then the algorithm goes, okay, this piece of content is valuable. Let's start sharing it with more of this person's network and maybe even new people that they haven't seen this person's work. So we do that by, sorry, yeah, that's right. So we do that by basically creating spaces. And again, some people post like really long posts. I've done that. We've all done that. Some people post really short stuff. I think the sweet spot is somewhere in the middle. If it takes me like 10, 15, 20 seconds to read it, kind of digest it, maybe click on the link, sure. And then here we go. This is how you can schedule it. Schedule for later, put your time in here, boom. Usually do it in the morning, your local time, whatever that is, and then schedule for the next 3 days. Usually I try to have 3 to 5 days scheduled out, so I'm not worried about it. And then when it comes time to like post something, on the fly, I can go in and post something on the fly. You will get more results and better results if you post from your phone or your computer. Always add an image that is attention grabbing. Those are the big things I know about posting. And yeah, if you schedule, it's fine. It'll still work. It'll still kind of initiate the algorithm. But if you post in the moment, that actually does much better, is what I've noticed. Okay, so that's LinkedIn posting. The last thing I really wanted to share was engaging and growing your audience, right? So over time, as you start to post on a regular basis, the goal is to try and now connect with people. So your profile is healthy and looking good. Your about page is ready to receive, like, your messages, you want to blow your messages up with opportunities or connections or anything like that. 2 things. Go from top to recent. Always have your recent up, and I'll tell you why in a second. And then start connecting. So connect with people who have a huge following. Connect with people who have a small following. So like Mel Robbins. Who doesn't know Mel? Good old Mel Robbins. There she goes. Right? I'm going to follow her. So I'll click that. And then I'm going to like view her profile or whatever. And sometimes you can connect with these people. Usually but she has a huge following. So they probably don't let you do that. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm here. Actually here, yeah, where it says more, I can go and connect. So I may have to add a note. She has a team, yada, yada, yada. So she has a big account. But I'm just going to follow. And I'm going to start commenting on her posts. So when her posts come up on my feed, they show up. I'm going to comment. Now, the reason I want to comment on someone like Mel Robbins' posts, right, is because Mel Robbins gets 111 comments, thousands of people looking at her stuff. What that means is people, look, right when I clicked on that post, look what it showed me. It showed me people's comments, because what LinkedIn wants to do is create a discussion opportunity. So I'm going to go in here and add my 2 cents, maybe not to hers, maybe to Chastity here, right? Maybe if she says something important, something cool, something relatable, I would like and reply to her comment, right? Same thing with Amy. So I would go in here and just kind of like be interested and see if any of this applies to me. And then here's the cool part. Right underneath where it says Chastity or whoever's name, right? Creating great content, making new friends, all while being, okay, cool. I coach the movers, shakers, and barrier breakers. Cool. Okay, spirituality, smarter. Okay, some of these people are vague and not telling me exactly what they do. Unlock your potential, overcome stress, prevent burnout. But who is this for every single person on LinkedIn? If she said, I help tech CEOs overcome stress and prevent burnout, now you have my attention because I'm a tech CEO. That's why it's important to address who you help right away, because that's where I see that, and that's very important. Okay, so that's Mel Robbins. But there are other big accounts that I would spend 1 hour, and I do this, spend 1 hour a day in my mornings before I go work out. I'll go on my LinkedIn, I do my post, and then I go and comment at least 10, 15, 20 times on different accounts so that I am able to be seen like I'm seeing Josie's and Amy's comments here, and then hopefully creating other connections from that. Okay. So that's really helpful. That's helped me grow my account because then people will connect with you or want to connect with you. Now, of course, there's downsides to this we haven't addressed. People messaging you about sales shit. They sell you stuff. So don't be that person who sells stuff. This is a place to connect. And if the way I connect is, Mandy, respectfully, I'm just showing sort of our messages here by just saying, like, look, hey, hello, how are you? The website's lovely. She was like giving me compliments. Oh, thank you, Mandy. You know, like just building a relationship, like just saying hello. I'm not, hey, what do you think of my sales pitch? Hey, do you want my book or PDF? No, no one wants your shit. No one wants your shit. Only if I ask for it. If I'm asking for it, fine, give it to me, right? This person is asking for advice. This person asked me like, hey, I need help with my content. So people do reach out to you. People are lurkers. There are more lurkers, and then that's not a bad term. It's just that people are outside of your sort of field of vision that are looking at your post, they're looking at your profile. And if it makes sense to them and you've given them enough value, you've shown them enough expertise, they'll come to the back end and knock on the door and say, I need your help with this. I see that you've done it, or I see that you help someone else, or they'll email you, or they'll send you a message through your website, which happens to me all the time. And that's how I fill my pipeline calls, booking calls on a weekly basis. I try to get between 3 and 7 calls a week. I haven't not hit that for 7 months, maybe even more. Sometimes I've gotten to like 1 call a week, but that's better than nothing. Just meeting people, sometimes connecting them with people I know, giving opportunities, and then sometimes locking in deals, which have helped me survive and grow. And so most of my money, income, and everything come from doing what I can on LinkedIn. Okay, I hope that's helpful as far as engaging. Engaging is actually where you grow your audience. It's where people see you the most. It's where things really happen, right? So engage and be interested with other people. Find people you want to actually connect with, authors, people that you admire, whoever. Connect with them. Start forming a relationship. Reach out to them in a message and say, hey, I read your book. It was incredible. Thank you. I also left you a review. I hope that helps. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with me. It helped me do X, Y, Z. That's fantastic. We as authors love getting that. Wouldn't you like getting that? So give it first, and maybe it will come back in a beautiful way for you. Okay, I think I've gone over my time here. So the anatomy of the post, you guys saw that. You can download it, rising-authors.com. Engage and grow your audience. We went through that. All right, now we're at the discussion. Okay, I'm still very new to this, but let me stop presenting. And I would love to answer any questions y'all may have or anything like that. Also, I hope this was really helpful. We might do like a version 2.0 later down the line where I can discuss more of this stuff, but I think we're good right now. This is so real. Have you been hit up to sell business yet? No, not yet. We got time, and I'm not selling. This is such a cool thing. I love doing this. It's like owning an ice cream shop. No way. I love ice cream. I wouldn't sell it. I'm going to do another hour of DM invites for tomorrow. Who are the best fits for the service to invite for tomorrow? Oh, honestly, man, invite your friends. Invite who could use learning about what we're sharing about tomorrow, Chris. I think that'll be really fun. And no forcing anyone's hands. Record it and we'll share it with whoever, and then we can do it again down the line. Like for me, it's whoever finds churning their authorpreneurship into something of value, and if we can support them, great. Kelly, I'm so glad. Kelly, I don't know if you guys probably can't see the comments here, but Kelly is a good friend. We work together at Scribe Media, and she's a PR freaking guru. So I'm going to have her on an amazing podcast interview, and we're probably going to host this thing maybe in a couple weeks together, and we'll talk about more PR stuff, which is so fucking exciting. But yeah, this is very helpful. We're going to take a harder look at my profile page. Yeah, Annette, I'm so glad this was helpful. Anything, if you want to message me or ask questions, if you want me to take a closer look at your profile and do like a Loom sort of review or assessment, I'm happy to do that. Just hit me up. If anyone wants that, happy to do that. Chris, you're so welcome, my friend. I'm excited to do our thing tomorrow. That'll be really exciting. But yeah, does anyone have any questions, anything specific they need help with or anything like that? Okay, so I think next week I'm going to, let me put this in here. Next week, I'm going to be talking about more like website landing page. So we did the LinkedIn landing page, if you will. We'll talk about website landing page, structure, testimonials, all that good stuff. So if you're interested in any of this stuff, let me know. I'll be posting more. I'll be sharing more. I'll be sharing this on our YouTube channel, so you can check that out. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do. It's Rising Authors on YouTube. You can check out more episodes there and stuff. Of course, if you are interested, if you are here and you're not in the community at Rising Authors, it's free, or $12 on Patreon if you want to support. That's rising-authors.com/community. You can check it all out there too. Super advertising our shit right now because that's what we do. Anyways, if you're out there and you need help or support, you need a community around you, you can hop in there. It's really fun. Timmy, I love you too. As much as you love this, I love you, man. We'll definitely have Timmy on here too. This will be great to share live stuff. Okay. Anyone else? Any questions? Do you write all your posts for the week in one sitting or day by day? That's a really good question, Kelly. I usually try to have a bank of posts. So I try to go in, like I use all those templates that you guys got now, okay? I use some of those. And sometimes, use those as inspiration. Use them, you don't have to like stick to those at all. But I use them as inspiration. I write out at least 15 to 20 posts in the bank, if you will. Some of them are in still idea mode. Some of them are fully written out. And then I either copy, paste, and post day of or schedule. So I like to do both, to be honest with you. I like to schedule my morning ones and then try, if I can, post an afternoon one. So hopefully that's helpful. But I have it all in one sheet in that Google Doc. So make a copy of it, make that your thing. You don't need 15 tools. You don't need 15 scheduling apps. Just focus your energy on LinkedIn for July and watch what happens. That's the only thing I write, like July, and then you can copy and paste and repeat. Specifically, my challenge is just like Kelly's. What is your practice and rhythm for posting? That's a good question. So the rhythm is my morning post goes up at 6:03 a.m. Kind of random, and I chose it that way. And then my afternoon post is usually lunchtime. So 11:30, 12:30, 1 o'clock is when I like to post. But it's already written, so I just copy, paste it, put my picture in there, put my image or my video, whatever I'm sharing, and then make it go live the day of. That usually is helpful. So, again, my goal is to spend between 2 to 3 hours a day throughout LinkedIn, morning, afternoon, evening. because that's where most of my leads come from, where my connections happen, where my action happens. So I'm very intentional. An hour in the morning, hour in the afternoon, and an hour in the evening. Just block out those hours. If you can't do an hour, do a half hour. If you can't do a half hour, do 15 minutes. That's it. And then log off, go away, go somewhere else. Timmy, you're good, brother. Happy to put you on next time. All right. Any other questions? Was the is the document helpful? Everything good on that? I can update it later on too, add more stuff. But Annette, you're welcome. Chris, Chaz, love you, man. You're welcome. I don't know who else was in here. All right, friends. It looks like we've come to the end. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. We're going to do this next week. Like I said, we're going to be talking about website stuff. So I'll put that together and share. Look forward to that. Okay, friends. Thank you. This was great. Appreciate it. We'll talk again soon. Bye.